viewer, welcome back, and I hope you're having a good time, fun time, or welcome for the first time, and I still hope you're having a good time, fun time, and you have arrived at the right time. It's a very traumatizing time. I'll be looking at top 10 most traumatizing green texts. These have been handpicked by me. There's a lot more traumatizing green texts out there, but these are very traumatizing, and if you know any other that are more traumatizing than these, drop them down in the comment and I will have a look at them and we will both try together. Last time I showed you the most mildest of the green text layer of the green text iceberg, but this time we're diving in deep. We're going to be traumatized, and so since it's going to be so traumatizing, I have devised a scale, the scale of uncanny, from where we will be rating them from happy Mr. Incredible to uncanny Mr. Incredible. And we're going to start it off by running and smashing our face into a wall. Anon smashes a horse by the lost predator. This one is very new. As you can see, it was just 3 hours ago, and when I saw this, I smashed my phone on my bedside table, started crying, hitting my pants and screaming because I saw this, and I now want you to see this. My girlfriend thinks I cheated on her, but I'm 99% sure it is not cheating. Be super horny. Decide to try to initiate. She says she is not horny, whatever, still very horny. She hates it when I masturbate, so I go to the other room as soon as her family is asleep. Starts jacking off with the usual furry porn, not doing it for me for some reason. So horny, I decide maybe I need something more daring. Her family lives on a farm. Decide to go out to the stable. See lots of videos of dudes smashing horses. Something in my horny brain takes over and I begin jerking off to one of the horses. Swear to God, the horse is backing against me. That's the horse's seat. This is not a word I thought I would ever read in any context, but here I am. Shove, cock, and horse. Her dad walks in, asks me why the lights were on, and sees me. Kicked out and sent home. Girlfriend finds out in the morning and immediately breaks for cheating on her. I am pretty sure this is not cheating. She's totally overreacting. I can get why would she wanna break up for fucking her horse, but not for cheating. Anon is a disgusting piece of shit. And if this story is real, I hope you're jailed forever, because I hate you. And I hate you with everything I have. And I will keep hating you. Maybe it's time for you to rope max, Anon. That would be beneficial for the society as a whole. I would say this was a very strong start, and whatever is going to come after is not going to match up to this. Now that we're all traumatized, let's make a circle and sit in it and cry. Time for the second green text. Anon is an author. Meme Town Mayor. 5 hours ago. Again, a new one. There's a lot of new traumatizing stuff going on around. Thing is, I had more traumatizing stuff, but I forgot to save it, and all of it is now gone. We have some other traumatizing stuff we're looking at, and what we're looking at is very traumatizing. Meme Town Mayor, thank you for your service to your country, which is literally nothing. I got fired today for writing a love note to my cutie pie crush. Don't ask me how I know 4chan lingo. I mean, it's just like cutie and pie. 3.4 is pie. It's basic math, but it still hurts. I try to incorporate a lot of science when I talk to make girl think I'm smart. Maybe you should also work on your grammar. In the note, I said that nature abhors a vacuum, and that I knew she needed her void to be filled with my presence. I never once said vagina or penis, but the fucking HR cunt said I crossed several boundaries of made up bullshit. Fired. Leave parting gift in their server. Have fun resetting your network configurations when you can't upload your work to the servers, fuckers. This is traumatizing because Anon is a regard in many ways. He thinks talking a lot of science makes him smart. It doesn't. He crossed a line. That's not really made up. People have boundaries, Anon, and you're supposed to respect them. I guess he has no self-respect, so he doesn't know the idea of respect, which is sad. And he left a parting gift in the server. It's just a rollback away from getting fixed. It's traumatizing because this guy is nowhere getting in his life. It's traumatizing because I'm reading this. It's another Anon that should rope max. I don't think there's anything left for him in life, and he's probably gonna get sued, so he's going to prison and he's going to be someone's prison wife. I would rate this a lightly uncanny Mr. Incredible, because this green text makes me uncomfortable. Now we're at our third green text. Hope Christian reads this. I hope so too. Thing is, Christian This green text is only traumatizing if you know the Christry. There's a whole wiki that is dedicated to Christian. This one is again new 4 days ago. We're like making our way into deeper and deeper to older green text, and it's going to be fun reading them. So let's start reading this one. Had a successful early life, proud service in the army, many accomplishments in his career, so successful that he retired and was able to live entirely off his pension. Terrible father, raised with most of his kids. All these kids went on to have successful lives and wanted no contact from him. Accidentally has one more child. Finally sees the error of his ways and want to raise one before he died. Someone to pass on his legacy. Final kid that he wanted to do right by is an autistic man-child who draws like an 5-year-old, has a loud hyper sex, and constantly embarrasses himself in front of strangers. Dies being known as father of that thing instead of what he has done for the first years of his life. I am deeply fascinated by the tragedy of Bob. I feel like there's a really good movie that could be made out of it. It doesn't have to be a story entirely, but concept of a terrible father whose lost hope and connection is a mental case, while the rest of his successful kids do nothing with him. Honestly, I don't want a movie to be made out of this. Christian is already the most documented person on the history of Earth. He has this documentary going on by Gino Samuel, which is almost 80 parts long. I think it's 80 plus parts at this point. And wherever Christian goes, they get stalked and they have their photos taken everywhere. It's not healthy for anyone involved, and that's why this green text is depressing. If you know what Christian is, if you know who Christian is, and if you're fascinated by Christian and have delved deeper into the Christian rabbit hole, I gotta say something to you. I hope you're okay, brother or sister or sibling, whoever you may be. My blessings are with you, and together we can overcome the trauma. This one is uncanny, Mr. Incredible, because everything comes together and it becomes trauma. I wish I didn't know who these guys were. Bob was a bad dad, and Christian's mom, Barbara, she was also a manipulative person, and they lived a really bad life. Christian wasn't given what they should have been given as support, and everything went downhill because their parents failed to help Chris in a meaningful way, and then internet came together and destroyed Christian. Thing is, Christian didn't help themselves. It's disingenuous of me saying that Christian was destroyed by the internet. A lot of people tried to help Christian, but Christian didn't do anything. Christian didn't know any better, and that's why a lot of things that happened have happened and will continue to happen because people don't learn, and neither does Christian. All I can wish is that everyone learns from their mistake and moves on. Like we're moving on to our next green text. This is our fourth green text, and on It's Very Lonely by Soulless Sonder. It was posted a year ago. See, I told you we're going in deeper and deeper. I should think about what I say. Yeah, I should definitely think about what I say. Okay, this is a long one. Our fourth one is a long one. It's longer than mine. You know what? I'm not gonna complete that joke. Let's start reading this. Feel incredibly lonely and fantasize about love, romance every day. 26 and still a kissless virgin. Keep seeing escort killed on this board as a solution to loneliness in a moment of pure happiness and desperation. I decided to book one. Early 20s girl and far more attractive than I would have thought to be doing this kind of work. 3 days waiting time. It will be New Year's Eve when she comes. I consider cancelling it and forgetting the whole thing every 10 minutes. The night eventually arrives. Ring at the door. She's 5 minutes early. No going back now. She's very pretty and nicely spoken. Let her in, and she sits down in the living room. I sit on the opposite side of the room and just look at her for a bit. Just tell me when you're ready. I don't respond. Emotion overcomes me. I burst into tears. I'm sorry. I can't do this. She looks. This isn't all I wanted to go down. I just feel so alone. She comes over to me and comforts. She touches my hair. Not a problem. She sits on the floor next to me. For the next 10 minutes, she is comforting me and saying she understands that this isn't for me. She gets up to leave and walks the door. Hey, you forgot your money for your time. Get out the money from my pocket. She walks back to me. I apologize to her and hand her the money. She shakes her hand. Don't worry about it. Besides, I would feel bad for taking it. I hope you find what you're looking for. She lets herself out the front door. Continue crying. This is the worst in my life. This is traumatizing but wholesome in a way because he's at the lowest point in his life, and somewhere, someplace, he didn't expect empathy but it arrived. It always does. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So keep on marching forward, my little soldier, because you can do it. And when you have fulfilled your goal, I will be standing there next to you. On the other side. All of us get lonely at one point or another. Doesn't mean we have to give in. Doesn't mean we have to give up. Never give up. Never what? Never give up. Keep on moving forward. I will give this a depressed Bojack out of Uncanny Mr. Incredibles. I usually don't read comments when I'm making these videos, but then again, I already made 2 videos, so what's usually there. Don't expect me to read comments, but this one we're reading. He saw you as a person. Now it's time to see yourself as one. It might be time for Anon to see himself as a person, but it's time for you to see the next green text. On to our 5th green text. Picked from the Kanji Club by Vandeskani. I never want to hear Japanese people aren't racist again from any weebs. Join an English/Japanese learning Discord server to practice Japanese since I was invited by a friend. Server has 90% Japanese users since they don't advertise it in English and everything is in Japanese beside the English only channel. Everything is going fine. Get in a voice chat after a couple of weeks of being in server to play Lethal Company. Everyone is very hushed that month. Next day, I get a message from a mod asking, "You are blocked?" Tell them yes. Immediately get kicked from the server. This is bullshit. I will keep watching anime, but I will forever be angry about this, and I never want to visit their country. You know what? Cute Kobeni picture. Anon, love Kobeni. This one is depressing because racism. Yes, racism is bad. There's no reason for us to be racist. And a lot of weebs, when you tell them, oh, Japan's xenophobic, Japan's racist, they just go like, oh, it's their culture there. How dare you be mad to Japan-sama? We love Nihongo, Nihongo #1. There's a lot of weebs. They have this syndrome called Last Samurai Syndrome or some shit. It's definitely called something like that. And they think if it's Japan, that means it's great. Japan's okay. The only thing I don't like is the racism and the passive aggressiveness they do. I will rate this one a slightly uncanny Mr. Incredible. It's not their culture. A lot of people go like, oh, it's a culture. It's not culture. It's never okay to be racist. Never. But you know what's okay? Reading our next green text. It's the 6th one. Anon has a deranged fetish by Akione. Someone at Square Enix must have an adult woman fetish, judging by Scarlett's design. Adult woman fetish. How do you idiots manage to become even more regarded every single year? I will rate this one a very, very uncanny Mr. Incredible, because damn, this guy's brain has been rotten to the core by lollipop that he cannot enjoy an adult woman anymore. Somebody get r/not how women work on this case. I think they probably are already on this case. Thanks, viewer, for watching. And if you're enjoying what you're watching, why don't you drop a like? It's pretty easy to do. You know what else is easy? Reading the next green text with me. On to the 7th one then. Anon does war crimes by Serral16. This one, viewer, brings tears to my eyes. It's maybe on the same level of sadness as the first one. You can hear the sadness in my voice, can't you? A rock driving through some broke-ass sandbox. Kids playing in the road. Lead truck. I tell the VC. He tells me to keep driving. Historically, when kids stop convoys, there's always an ambush in play. They use the kids to stop the lead vehicle. Then the adults open up with everything they have. I shut my eyes. The road is straight. Bum, 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 bumpy bum. Distant screaming. Bum. I have never been the same since. And he will never be the same again. A lot of war crimes get committed on a daily basis when a war going on. This is why I am anti-war. We shouldn't be pacifists. We should be fighting for what we believe in. And guess what I believe in? I believe in not having to fight a war. As Barack Obama once said, no, a threat of violence is a deterrent of violence. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective measures to preserving peace. Jokes aside, one might be just real. And even if it's not real, statistically speaking, someone out there has probably done it. And you know what we should do next? We should read the next green text together. This one I rate it extremely canny. Mr. Incredible. I'm depressed. I will never be the same again. On to the 8th one. Fam Anon takes a guy's V card. To Balkan for you! B25F. What a pure cute boy to mess around with. Kind of virgin from my class I ended up dropping out of. He rejected me twice after I coyly asked if he wants to smash. A year later, ask him out to dinner, and he agrees. I pressure him to drink, and he gets very drunk. We go on a walk. I take his virginity. It's cold, and the grass damp, but he seemed to enjoy it. Later, I think about a scene from when I read The Chainsaw Man and try to reenact with him. Bite his finger and tell him to memorize my bite. That's kind of weird. And on. Okay. 1 year later, we're still dating. Am I autistic? No, you're not autistic. You're a piece of shit. That's what I have to say about this, but he violated a guy after he rejected her advances. And basically, she violated him. And that should be punishable by law, but it's not. I don't think it's okay to go on a villain arc. You shouldn't be striving to like Makima. You definitely misinterpreted the message of Chainsaw Man, which you shouldn't have done. But you know what you should do? You should read the next Greentext. It is our 9th one together, and I love you so much. So don't go anywhere until the end. Anon loves holidays. Star 69. Ha, nice. How do I get my boyfriend? Stop hating Christmas. Be my boyfriend. 2001, 7 years old. His best friend visits him during Christmas break. They play together in his treehouse. Play a game of tag. My boyfriend accidentally shoves her while tagging her when she's close to the entrance exit, and she topples out of the treehouse. She dies. His mother, who had a litany of health problems and wasn't expecting to live longer than a year or two, has a heart attack and dies upon hearing the news. The father commits suicide shortly thereafter. I love Christmas, and I want him to enjoy with me, but he wants nothing to do with the holiday. You know what? This is a straight up depressed Bojack territory Greentext. If you want to see wholesome stuff, go to the other video I made, not this one. And the only advice I can give to this Anonet, just let your boyfriend relax, be a safe place for them, let them heal, and when time comes, when they're ready, they will have a good time, fun time with you. Time for the 10th one. Anon lurks in Trauma Bay. By mine for the record. You know what? It's yours. Let the record show I verbally consented to relinquishing these items to you. Be me yesterday. 3rd year in med school. Working in Trauma Bay. 1 a.m. Tired as shit. Call comes in from EMS. 16 years old male. Stroke symptom. What the fuck? 16 years old don't get stroke. Kid comes in. Clearly stroking out. Radiology takes him away for scans and shit. Meanwhile, I get sent to talk to the parents to find out what happened. Stand awkwardly and pat backs to try and console them. Not fucking working. Eventually calm down and ask them when they noticed the stroke to establish timeline. Turns out the mom was awoken at night by autistic moaning coming from son's room. She goes in, finds him having a stroke at his computer with his fucking dick in his hand. They didn't prepare me for this shit.exe. Take the rest of the history, hurry to the operating room, and tell the doctor. They are in the middle of the scan. They had found an AMV in his brain. Malformed, weak, blood vessels present at birth. Start seeing all the clues come together like a TV show. The kid was born with some weak vessels in his brain. Over the years, it's been slowly getting weaker. Finally, when the kid was jacking off, the spike in blood pressure from coming blew it the fuck up. My face when he literally had a mind-blowing orgasm. My face when he died this evening. I will never forget you. Stroker, kid. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that guy that was in news some years ago where he jacked off for 56 times and then he died, and because he jacked off so many times in one day he got a Guinness World Record. But you know what's even more traumatizing than this? That it was fake news. The kid did die, but not from jacking off, and he never got a Guinness World Record. Trauma is an energy force that is generated by every living 4chan. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds us all together. And with trauma, I will leave you. And if you would like to see something more wholesome, I recommend my other video, but it's only as wholesome as 4chan can get. And I hope you had a good time, fun time. Or I hope you had a good time traumatizing time. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed your time with me, because I did enjoy my time with you. This was a learning experience, and we all learned that we should beat 4chaners. If not all, we should beat most of them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the dislike button if you want to, and follow me on Twitch. I will see you when I see you next. Toodaloo!